Welcome to the TheLanCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen. Yeah,
Hello.
we're here giving you the gaming news like we do every single week, talking about video games, game development, console war that's apparently happening. Apparently happening. It's been happening for a while. It's like a cold war of console wars. It's the
Yeah.
cold console war trademark right there. What do you think
The
about this?
console Cold War, cold console war.
The cold console war. Yeah,
There we go.
that's a good one.
I don't think consoles are coming out this year, man. I
Making me
don't feel good.
sad.
I don't feel good about it. I don't know. There's something I just don't understand, and I say this a lot. I feel like that's like my signature phrase. I need like a sign that just like pops up above my head that says I just don't understand. I don't understand how it's August and we're expected to buy like, let's say it comes out at Thanksgiving, right? That's 3 months from now. Like,
Yep.
You're telling me I can't pre-order this thing yet? Like, what the heck
3
is
months
going
away,
on, man?
still can't. Yeah, it's weird. I'm kind of in a similar boat. Not quite as, I'm trying not to be as negative about it, but it is weird. As like you said, we are so close. We're so close to what should be the launch, and we haven't gotten it. So yeah, it's weird. Or so close to having some details. We have details of like hardware. We don't have a lot of the details that we want. We don't have price, which is the number one detail that we want. So it's kind of weird. But we got a lackluster PlayStation event today, the State of Play. I actually thought it was decent in comparison.
I was gonna say I don't think it was terrible.
I think that I got underhyped, right? So
Sure.
we're going to talk about that later on in the episode. But today was the PlayStation State of Play, and they came out a couple days ago and said, well, this is going to be PlayStation 4 games and some stuff. And they were basically, I think they were downplaying what the event was. So then everyone was assuming this was going to be kind of a last hurrah of the PS4 generation. This is what's coming to the PS4 before the next gen that we know is coming. I feel like that's what they made it seem like, but I think that we're a third of the games that they showed were PS5 or PS4 and PS5, meaning the developers already developing different versions of it. Yeah, I'm excited. We got some stuff on backwards compatibility this week on PlayStation 5, but we're not all about PlayStation. We do care about things other than PlayStation, like Xbox, apparently.
Okay.
We like to start out every week, by the way, talking about the games we've been playing, and I've been continuing my Resident Evil playthrough on Resident Evil 1, playing as Jill. I'm not going to do Jill and go between Jill and Chris on this. Basically, if there's a playthrough where you can play as multiples, I'm only going to play one of them because I'm just trying to finish all the games before Resident Evil 8 comes out. That's that's my goal, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to play Jill and Chris, and then the next game, I don't have time for that. So playing through as Jill, loving it. Really like the remaster. This remaster is when they did a remaster on the GameCube and then ported it over to PlayStation 4. So it's pretty good. I'm liking it. What have you been playing?
I booted up just because I really haven't been playing much of anything. I've been busy with work, and then after The Last of Us 2, I've been kind of feeling on video games like I just needed a little break after that. So I started playing Twin Breaker, which is Colin Moriarty's game. Not the most popular guy in the world, but he made a video game, and it is a brick breaker. And I figured, like, what could be more opposite of Last of Us 2 than playing a brick breaker, right? So I booted that up. It's actually not bad. There's some fluff in there, which if anybody has ever listened to Colin talk, he talks a lot, more than me and Patrick do. And he is the one that wrote the story for this video game. He didn't like make the video game part of it. Another guy did. It's made by one guy, and then he did the story. So two people made this game. He added a story into a brick breaker, which is fine, but there's a lot of is exposition the right word? There's a lot of dialogue to read through, and so there are times where it's just like I just you can skip it, but you feel bad skipping the story of a brick breaker, but you just want to play the game. You just want,
Yeah.
but it's cool that it has like the whole thing is that it's twin breakers, so there's two paddles instead of
Mhm.
one, and so you control one paddle per stick.
Okay, that's what I
And
was gonna
so it's like a
guess.
twin stick brick
Yeah.
breaker, which is a cool concept, and the game's actually pretty well made. It's got the only thing don't like about it, other than the story stuff just being too long, is that there's a timer on the levels,
Oh, I hate that.
and I'm slow. Like you might be able to turn it off. I haven't even actually gone to the settings, but I like playing games
Yeah.
as they were made, and so I just don't. I don't like that. I ran out of time
Mhm.
on a pretty early level, and I'm like, come on, like what do you want me to do? I'm still learning.
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, I think I told you this before. That's the reason that I didn't finish Majora's Mask Forever is because of the time limits. Like it just frustrated me.
You learn a song.
I know.
Okay, I was like, you literally like learn a song, and then it's never a problem ever again.
Well, you learn a song that takes you back to the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
Of the day.
it takes your timer
3
back.
days. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's sometimes where you have to forward it, but like there's like once you learn those songs, it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
I got stressed out like trying to complete something and like making sure you complete it before the end of day, because if you don't complete it before the end of the day, there's certain things that don't save. And but I did pick those up, which we had a weird bit on that weird tangent, slight tangent. They were on sale for $2. Ocarina and Majora's Mask were on sale for the Wii U. And
that was weird, dude.
It was really weird. So it was on sale for $2 for me, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm not buying them for $2."
Sure.
Messaged Owen, and it's $10. We're like screenshotting each other. I'm like, "Dude, no, it's not. It's $2." I was surprised you didn't have them, but I'm assuming you had it on 3DS, right?
I have Majora's on 3DS. I don't think I'm ever going to play Ocarina ever again unless they remake it. I would play Majora's again, but there's a point where you realize that the superior game on the N64 is Majora's Mask.
Yeah, and I'm going to be playing it again at some point, and I'm probably going to have that feeling of like, okay, my little childhood Patrick's vision of what that game was is going to be destroyed. Which it happens. It happens. It's how you grow.
Yeah,
you learn. You learn from your mistakes. People that don't learn from their mistakes are people like Blizzard. Because apparently Blizzard is, I will say, I have like the chatter on this, by the way, but the news story here is Blizzard employees have basically banded together and like shared like a spreadsheet of like, here's what we get paid, here's the raises that we've had over the years. Some of them have been with the company forever, and because of the lack of overtime, they are actually trying to reduce crunch. I'm not saying they've gotten rid of it. But some of them were saying like, I earn less now than I earned like 20 years ago, because I've gotten like X amount of raises per, for my entirety of my salary. And it hasn't kept up even with inflation. I do find it funny though. People were putting the meme up from We Are the Millers. I don't know if you've seen that. Where like put up the meme of like the kid from We Are the Millers, and it says, "You guys get raises," which I thought was kind of funny. It's like there's so many people I know who are like, I haven't gotten a raise in like 10 years. So
it was very like reminiscent of what happened. Not exactly, because it was more of a bonus structure that happened, but like with Gearbox with Borderlands 3, like they were promised bonuses that they just didn't get. And then you have these people who are working at arguably one of the richest video game companies in the world, with Activision Blizzard. We're talking about World of Warcraft. We're talking about Hearthstone. We're talking about Call of Duty, a company so rich that they didn't care that they lost Destiny 2. And by lost, I don't know exactly how all that shook out, but they didn't care about letting Destiny 2 just go back to Bungie, and giving Bungie that sole thing. They have that much money, and I guess you have that much money because you're not paying your people.
You have to. I mean, that's the only way I can think of it, is the amount of money that they're keeping or going into to profits, into bonuses, all of that. Because yes, it's a business. It's about making money, but you also have to pay your employees who made sure that you could make your money. Which is, we're not going to get political here, but it's like you need to pay your employees what they're worth. And I'm all about like a living wage. If someone's busting their tail for 40, 50, 60 hours a week, like they shouldn't be in poverty. That's my feeling about it, but I'm not going to get, too political.
You really think that they shouldn't? I don't know that that's a valid. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say I'll end it with this. Was like they created minimum wage to be like, what can a person earn to have a married couple with two kids and pay for housing and food and all the necessities. Was like, that's what minimum wage should be, and then that's just completely been destroyed. So we're gonna get off the soapbox here and talk about the leak of PlayStation 5 pricing. So as we were talking about the PlayStation 5, we still don't have the price on, but we have a little leak that may illuminate, and it's about what we've seen out of some of the other leaks and some of the other rumors, and it's close to what you'd mentioned as well. This one leaked on a European gaming site, right? We already had Amazon. Yeah,
always European gaming sites, man.
It was French Amazon last time. Different things. So this did get converted, by the way, from euros to dollars, but you're looking around $500 for the we'll call it traditional PlayStation 5, and then the all digital at $400. I think you and I were thinking it was $50. I don't think we wrote down our predictions on that. We'll have to take a look, but I think we thought it was like, I think you were thinking it was going to be it was like 500 and 450 or 450 and 400. I was ready to spend 500. You pre-ordered for more than that, so
a lot more than that.
I only bring it up because I was about to do it. You messaged me like we're an hour difference. I'm East Coast, you're Central. For those who don't know, so you messaged me. I'm like in bed reading, and I took a look, clicked the link, and was like, I am so tempted just to have that have it secured. So you, out of all of us, you're the only one with the PlayStation 5 securely pre-ordered,
as far as I know.
Yeah. Oh, out of us, the two of us, the royal us. But let us know in the comments, by the way, if you have a PlayStation 5 pre-ordered, because I haven't seen Xbox pre-order anywhere.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I did. What'd you think about the other part of this leak that showed the peripheral pricing?
So that's where you think that these are just placeholders, because they had the controller at $50 or 50 whatever.
Yeah.
And a DualShock 4 is 60. And so that's where you're like, this is probably just them putting stuff in there. And then I didn't see the headset price.
The headset was on there for $50. And I'm like, that's bull. We know that pricing's bull at that point.
Yeah.
I would say the console's probably close to what it's going to be. I think that if you're going to sell something for over $500, especially with COVID going on, but if you're going to sell a console for more than $500, there's so many people who are just not going to buy it. We're already at a point where these are not going to be impulse buys of a purchase that a parent's like, oh, I guess I'll get the new PlayStation while I'm here at the store. These are hefty price tags for consoles. So I think it's got to be $500 or under. Otherwise, it's only people who are, I don't know, who like this is like their thing. No casuals would grab it at that point, I think.
No casuals. No casuals aren't going to buy it in the beginning anyway, because as we saw from the state of play, the PS4 still got support. It may not have the first party might be moving away, but there's still going to be games probably coming out on PS4. I would probably say like into 2022, 2023. Like I don't expect the last game for PS4 to be made for a long time. And I bet even if the first party's moving away, I bet they still put the show on PS4. I think I recall that they put the show on PS3 really late. Like it was like a few years, I think, into the PS4 cycle. So I don't think the non-casuals are going to be like flocking anyway, and I don't think that they have a reason to.
They just straight up don't.
I think the price, like, I think if this is the price, like, I still think it's fine. None of these were over $600. None of them hit the PS3, the death price of the PlayStation 3. So I think if it's 550, if no matter what, if it's cheaper than what I have it pre-ordered at my placeholder, I'm quite happy. So
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say you're
my
good.
$800 pre-orders.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say $700 plus shipping plus taxes, and I think you said you contacted them, right? So that's gonna be hopefully straightened out like when it actually comes out. So that's good.
Yeah, I have the email. Like, I keep. I learned this from work. Always keep a paper trail,
Yeah,
folks.
dude.
So if you have somebody who said, "Don't worry, we'll refund you the difference," then like that's what you have to go on. So I have that because they did take the money from me. Like, it wasn't just like an authorization on the card. It was like that money is not in my account currently. So they better give it back at some point.
Well, I mean, you got the email at that point. You can, you have some something, and you're straight up right. Keep the receipts, keep that paper trail. It's going to save you in the long run. And I think Xbox is going to be saved by some Xbox online services, by the way. A little segue there. So Xbox Live apparently had some name changing going on, and it was being referred to as Xbox Online Services. So that had the rumor of Xbox Live going away, Xbox Gold, if you will. I still think it's going to be a tiered structure where we're going to see different levels, whatever they're going to call them, like some type of premium, where you're going to get different, like they have, like they've been talking about, or they have Game Pass already. You have different levels of Game Pass. I think Game Pass is going to be what they're going to link everything to. If you have Game Pass, you can get. I think that what we're going to end up with is like a couple extra bucks. You're going to get something else. A couple extra more than that, you're going to get something else added onto it in a bundle. I think they're trying to get everybody onto Game Pass.
I mean, they have 10 million subscribers already.
It's amazing. Isn't that amazing? So 10 million subscribers for, is it 15 a month?
It's 10 a month for just console. It's 5 a month for just PC. It's
$100 million.
It's 15 for Ultimate.
$100 million every single month. That's $1.2 billion for those who are bad at math. That's just Game Pass. And they do give money. I had to explain this to somebody the other day. It's like the game's free on Game Pass, just like PlayStation Network stuff, right, with PlayStation Plus. That's a deal worked out with the developer and Xbox. So like the developers still get money. People were like,
we're talking about they're netting that much per month.
Exactly. Yeah, but the developers get a change where get a chunk of change where they're like, let's give you X amount for having your game on there.
And just for comparison, there's 3 million PlayStation Now users.
Wow.
Which honestly isn't bad. A lot of people like to crap on PS Now, and with good reason. It started out as a pretty bad service. What somebody pointed out to me as the kicker is because they were talking about you can't download PS Now games. I say, yeah, you can, but it's only on the PS4. So PS Now is available on PC.
Gotcha.
But on PC, it's streaming only. Which I didn't know, versus Game Pass's download the game. But I think that silently Xbox has forced PlayStation to at least try and make it better. I looked at the library yesterday because I wanted to compare when I was preparing for the show. So the PS Now library is 600 games. Nothing to sneeze at.
It's not bad.
The Game Pass library, for a comparison, is I think 300 something games. Now the difference is the quality. There's a definite higher tier quality to the Game Pass library. They get all of the first party games are in there. There's no caveats there. It's not like PlayStation where God of War was like available for like 2 months.
Yeah.
But it's just weird that right now you can't buy a year of gold. I think that the most you can buy right now is 3 months. They did come out and comment on it that's saying like we're not getting rid of gold, and so I'm wondering if they're just in the process of kind of rebranding everything, because it's similar to when airlines started charging for bags, right? They started charging for bags because gas was expensive. That's what they told you anyway. And once gas got cheap again, did you see your bag price go away? No, unless you're flying on Southwest. Yeah, you just got used to it. And so people have been paying for Xbox Gold and PlayStation Plus we just had the 10th anniversary of PlayStation Plus. So we're talking about a decade of, $60 a year. I don't, from a capitalistic point of view, I don't see why Microsoft would get rid of that. If they're really trying to be consumer friendly, they get rid of it. But with that means they're getting rid of games with gold, which is again nothing to sneeze at. They offer a pretty good offering on games with gold every single month. I think it's 3 or 4 games.
It's 4 games a month. Yeah, you get two Xbox One games and 2. It's usually 360, but sometimes you get an OG Xbox game because it's backwards compatible. So it's like, oh, sweet, I got this game. I didn't even think about it. It's pretty cool.
So if you get rid of that, there's the people who don't like $60 is cheaper than $120. Just in case anybody was bad at math again, like it's cheaper to have that games with gold and Xbox Live than it is for Game Pass. There's people like me where I'm a little bit hesitant on Game Pass just because of how little I play Xbox.
Sure.
I got the PC one for $5 and I've loaded one PC game and I played it for 20 minutes and then I went back to playing PlayStation games. But they've gotten now $15 from me for the past 3 months. That's the only reason I haven't done it yet, is because I just have this feeling I won't do it. But I don't see why they would get rid of gold, but a lot of people think that they are. They said that they're not, but I think it's kind of like a Nintendo situation. It's like, well, we're not right now.
Sure. I think, and that's kind of what I was getting. Like, I don't think they're going to get rid of it, period. I think it'll morph and rebrand and you'll get a little something extra. And the reason that I say that is we're going into a new console generation. Are we still going to get those 4 games a month for free on Xbox? 4 games a month for free on PlayStation? Sorry, two games now. Sorry, we went from 6 games to 4 games to 2 games on PlayStation.
Sad day.
Very, very sad. So now
more Vita games.
We should. Yeah, I was gonna say I've got a lot of Vita games on my. Right there. I mean, dude, I'm actually about to message my sister. I was going to do it right before the show, but I'm going to message her and be like, "Hey, does Braden play as Vita still? Like, I'll buy it off of him because he'll get some cash. I'll get a Vita. I'll show
you something after the show.
I can't wait. No, I miss having mine. Yeah, it's fine. I miss having mine though. I think it's like I said, the Xbox. I feel like I'm getting less value on my PlayStation Network Pass than I used to. Now I'm keeping it because I still have access to the games that I previously had got when I subscribed, and as soon as I turn that off on PlayStation, I don't have access to them. So
yeah, I think it's very clear that they're getting more robust here, because the other thing, there's 2 more things that came out regarding Xbox and this whole Xbox Live thing, is that they said Halo Infinite multiplayer is going to be free to play. So for those who don't know about Halo Infinite, obviously that's the new Halo coming out at the end of the year. It has a multiplayer component to it. There's with the way they're talking about this, folks, this is going to be the last Halo game you get for a while. I think I'm wondering if they're going to turn it into like Destiny, and they're going to be like 3-4-3 versus Bungie going on here, but who knows? But the online component they're saying is free to play. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's completely free to play? Does that mean that you get to do Xbox Live? If you pay for Xbox Live, you get to play online for free, and that the download of multiplayer is free? That's where there was more stuff like surrounding, like, are they going like completely free on Xbox Live? So far, I'm still of the mind you're going to have to pay for Xbox Gold if you want to play online, but they are going to say, hey, if you want to play Halo online, you want to go to Blood Gulch, you get to do that without paying us any money.
Yeah,
which is, by the way, awesome.
I think it's great. I think that's a great move for them to kind of know your ecosystem, right? Understand the world that you're bringing this game into, and the ecosystem that they're putting out Halo in now is that multiplayer games like that are free, and there's other ways, and that's immediately I'm like, okay, are we going to charge for skins? What are they going to like? How are they going to make money on it? Or will it? unless is it free if, like you said, you have Xbox. If you have gold, then you can download and play it. If you don't have gold, then you can't. I think that's an easy way where they're like, we just want your sub. Like you subscribe, it's free, and they may be like, nope, no worry about microtransactions or anything. Which that could be pretty cool.
I don't know what microtransactions there really would be. I mean,
Skins, maps.
I mean, do not do Fortnite. Like, if you want to have, like, you're gonna be Master Chief. Who else can you be?
Well, in a team, like if you're playing multiplayer and you've got like 50 Master Chiefs or 10 Master Chiefs running around, like I feel like there's some type of way to personalize.
There's just different colors, and then like your shoulder thing,
I know.
right? Like, like if they don't do it, and the thing that ties all this into a bow on, like, what's super interesting about this is that they came out, just dropped it right on their website, no fanfare really.
Mm-hmm.
xCloud launches on Android only on September 15th, included in your Xbox. This is how they get you to sub to Ultimate. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate includes xCloud, so that's $15 a month. You get access to Game Pass on PC, Game Pass on your Xbox, and xCloud on your Android devices.
See, and to me, if it was like it's $15 per, like I personally am not gonna. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah,
but I'm only gonna do it. I'm gonna try to try it out. But I can't see myself having this subscription and the Games with Gold subscription together. Like, that's why I'm like, they gotta bundle this. Like, there needs to be some type of bundle where I thought. Oh, wait, is it a bundle?
I think Game Pass Ultimate includes Gold too.
That's right. I'm tripping here. Like, I'm just exhausted from work this week. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think you're right. For 15, not bad. I will say I would miss getting my. I usually buy Game Pass. I usually buy Gold like a year in advance. Includes Gold. Okay, 15 is not that bad. Then it's just a question of like, is it worth that extra couple bucks for the streaming? It may be worth it.
It's not just the streaming that you get though. That's what, for like somebody like you. I mean, you have a One X, don't you?
I do.
So what you get is $15 a month. So what is that a year? Like, that's 120 plus another. Tripping.
Yeah, we're doing bad.
5 times 12, 60, 180.
Yeah.
180 a month. So $60 of that is Xbox Live Gold. 120 is your Games Pass. So you're getting. But you get Games Pass on your Xbox One X and your PC.
Yeah, and see, that's where I'm like, that's a possibility. I just don't play the Xbox that much. That's where I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it.
Where streams up now, you got your PC with your OBSs, and you could get yourself a fancy Xbox controller for your PC, and
it's so much better than mine. It's so much better than my janky one that I got. Like, I would say if Whitney didn't play,
spend money, guys.
If Whitney didn't play Assassin's Creed on the Xbox, I'd bring it in here and hook it up, because we play mostly PlayStation. But
that's your graphics card.
What's that? Better graphics card?
No, how is your graphics card on your PC?
It's okay. It's not that great. Like, I mean, it's 1080. Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm playing
the GTX.
Oh
10.
no, I can't remember. Offhand. I'll have to double check. It was a budget card when I bought it, and I bought it like a year and a half ago. So knowing that, I'm like, it's fine. What sucks though is playing a game while recording it, while streaming it. You do see stutter, which is one reason why console gaming is nice. Instead of having like two PC rigs. So they have their ups and downs, but yeah, I would totally bring the Xbox One X in here if it wasn't for her playing Assassin's Creed and stuff. Because man, it looks so much better. It looks so much better on Xbox One X.
It's a nice piece of hardware.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. This Game Pass deal is starting to get too good. I just wish that I wanted to play on it. Like, it's the dumbest feeling in the world, guys. Like, I know that there's other people out there like me where like, I just don't want to play on my Xbox. Like, I don't care that I'm buying games on PlayStation because I like my PlayStation controller. Is there an Xbox controller out there? The 8-bit dough.
I'm pretty sure they have one offset.
I want my stick. I want my stick right here. I
Yeah.
want it right. Just put it there, right where the tail is hitting me in the face. Guys.
Exactly. I
That's
will
where
say
I
when,
want to stay.
when I first got my PlayStation 3, it was okay, but like shooters sucked on like the sticks were just they're so light and swimmy. Like I was trying to play Resistance on it, and there's no way I could do it. So I bought one, and the third party controller that I bought was offset, so like an Xbox controller. So both my PlayStation and my Xbox 360, I had both the consoles. They both have the offset,
Mm.
which was kind of cool because they had similar stiffness, and they were both offset. So it was nice to be able to go right between. Like it's basically the opposite of what you're saying. I'm saying that to say there's got to be someone who came up with a Xbox controller that does that. If the PS3 controller had one that did it, you totally got to be able to get an Xbox, the one that has linear sticks.
It's also not just that. I hate the UI. There's a lot of things where like I'm excited
Sure.
to see the Series X UI. But it's undeniable. If you don't care, if you have no console loyalty whatsoever, if you have no PC or whatever, if you have a PC and you game on PC and you listen to the show and you don't pay the $5 a month for PC Game Pass,
Yeah.
you're out of your mind. There's 100 games on there and they're good. Like
For
I
$60.
go through that library. It's
Dude, just to
good.
grab something and play something and just go, I want to try that. Dude, back in the day, so $5 a month. So back in the day, we rented games for $5 for like 5 days or a week at Blockbuster. So yeah, $5 a month is totally worth it. We got some news. Speaking of like things that are worth it, we got some news about PlayStation 5 Peripherals and Q&A and that, which
There's some people that are upset about this actually.
I think we already had a clear definition of it. And this is like, we've said this before. This is a unique generation, man. We expect everything to just be backwards compatible now.
Yeah.
Where the previous generation, when they were like, hey, we're going to have some games that are backwards compatible, it was literally like one of the biggest things to be like, it was a shocker because PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, you had some digital stuff that ended up there, but I guess PlayStation then moved away from the backwards compatibility that they had. So now it's so ingrained in this console generation that people expect everything to carry over. So the big news out of this, most of the news was okay, but the big news was your PlayStation 4 controller will not work on the PlayStation 5 while playing a PlayStation 5 game.
That's the key.
Yes, so if you're playing a PlayStation 4 game on your PlayStation 5, you're good. You're good to go. And I'm not that upset with it because, well, if you're playing a PlayStation 4 game on your PlayStation 5, you obviously have a PlayStation 4 controller. You're able to rock it. You have that controller that you like. You're gonna get at least one PlayStation 5 controller with the DualSense with the PlayStation 5. I'm assuming. So it's not like they're saying, "Hey, we want your money." The console's this, the controller's that. They're separate. Man, if they do that, that would suck though.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, you get a controller with it.
You're going to get one controller. It has to be playable out of the box. You're not going to get a second controller. That's the question. $70, by the way.
That doesn't come with a controller, I don't think. And if there is, then it's evil.
It's evil. I think.
I
By the way, I think it's $70 for the price. Is my guess. By the way.
I think it's going to be 80 or 90, but just because of what's in it, that the hardware.
Yeah.
I think everything about this system is going to be expensive at first. I don't have friends, so I don't care. Like I'm going to be using a PS5 controller on my PS5. I don't play multiplayer games with my wife. She does not like playing multiplayer games with me because we only play co-op games, and I get upset when she does it wrong. Okay. So we don't play co-op games at all. This is a single-player household until my son's big enough to play with, and at that point, I have Switch controllers. Like that'll be. There's not a lot of PlayStation stuff where I'm just like ready to have him jump in. I am excited to have him like up near the TV when I first played the Astrobot game that comes with PS5. I think he'll get a kick out of that. I think that'll be fun. But I don't play a lot of games on PlayStation. Most of the time that's what my Nintendo's for. Yeah. So I just don't care. But there were some other people I talked to, in my gaming circles, they were like, this is crap. Like, why is this not backwards compatible? The Xbox controller is backwards compatible. there's a point. You have a point
Yeah.
saying like it's backwards compatible, but from what I saw on the new Xbox controller, did they do anything different? Like, do they have those adaptive triggers in there? I don't remember.
Well, the other thing I was going to say is like you mentioned, there definite differences in the games and that was the reason that PlayStation basically said they want people to be playing they want developers to really embrace the new technology. They want to program around it, which I agree. By the way, PlayStation 3, I can use my PlayStation 4 controller plugged into it. And you, which is really, it's the way to play the PlayStation 3 now.
Controller on PlayStation 4.
Yes, I was gonna say you can play it with PlayStation 4 plugged in, right? You can't pair it.
No, you can't play. The DS3 is not compatible with the PS4.
But what I mean is like it's forwards compatible. The PlayStation 4 controller will work on the PlayStation 3 if I plug it in. And the Xbox 360 controller will work on an Xbox One if you plug it in. So already there are workarounds to it, and I guarantee that it's not going to be great for certain games. And I think you're right. Like at some point you have to go, okay, we need to evolve, we need to move forward. Do the adaptive triggers in there as well as haptic feedback is going to be really cool. Like I'm really looking forward to experiencing the new controller. I love my PlayStation 4 controller, but I can play.
The complaint is that people don't expect the third parties to do anything with those triggers, right? They always say like third parties don't adopt these new things. It's just like why the touchpad on the DS4 is virtually useless. Like it has its function, but the function became opening the map, like clicking. You click it to open the map. That's what that button does now. But this little swipey thing, hate it. Nobody likes it. Like there's a couple things on there. I think that some scratch offs type stuff. Like there's those moments in video games, but I think that this controller is different because while it still has the touchpad and the touchpad feels gimmicky, I don't think it's gimmicky to want to put that stuff into the triggers. Like if you're going to imagine playing the next Tomb Raider game, if that ever comes out, you're holding back the thing and you have to like push it down and have it like have that tension on Laura's bow.
That's gonna be cool.
Who would not want to design that in? Like that would be dope. I don't want to play that with a DS4, and I'm shilling a little bit like for PlayStation. I understand that it should be possible. I get why it should be. Maybe they change their mind if there's enough backlash over it. I don't think enough people care, but I know that some people were upset.
Dude, I'm thinking the tension as well as add a little bit of that rumble in there. So like you pull the bow back, but she can't hold it for too long, and like the rumble gets slightly harder, and then you release it. Yeah. Like that's cool, and you feel it. You're not going to guess; you're feeling it. I think that's cool.
I want to know where you're at on this, though. Are you angry, or do you understand being upset about Spider-Man being exclusive to the Avengers?
Yeah. So
on the PlayStation,
I will preface this. Yeah, I'll preface it by saying that both Owen and I have our PlayStation 4 Pros. Yep. We play predominantly on our PlayStation 4 Pros if we're playing anything next gen. I know we got some retro stuff that we play every now and then, but we predominantly play PlayStation 4 Pro. That being said, I hate this. Like even though I'm not going to miss out. I'm going to get Spider-Man. But man, I hate this. Like Spider-Man is one of the. I know Avengers are like huge and everything, but seriously, if you're playing an Avengers game and it does not have Spider-Man, I would feel deflated if I was anywhere but PlayStation where I was playing. That's how I feel about it. I know a lot of people are like, "Hey, it sucks, but that's what happens. That's how you have this exclusivity." But like, that's a big one. That's a big one, man. We're not talking about like some skins. We're not talking about, some random like Hawkeye. Hawkeye's only on Xbox. Like, okay, I like Hawkeye, but I could take or leave.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa, Hawkeye's not random. Don't be hating on Hawkeye.
Okay. Who would you pick out of the Avengers team that we have for the cinematic universe?
I mean, if we're talking about the cinematic universe,
exactly. If it wasn't the cinematic universe. Ant-Man. How about Ant-Man?
Yeah, okay.
Like, It's like, oh, I could take or leave Ant-Man, but take or leave Spider-Man, that sucks. That really sucks. So I feel bad. I understand the Sony branded aspect of it, but they didn't have a legal reason. Right?
No, it's called they paid money.
They paid money, yeah, because someone
Sony
people
doesn't
online
own the game rights to Spider-Man.
yeah, exactly,
Like
exactly. Yeah, and that's what I had to explain to people. I'm like, no, Sony doesn't. Sony leased the rights to make Spider-Man movies, but not. Sony bought the rights to make Spider-Man movies, and they can, Marvel can still make Spider-Man games, but this just really irked me. And like I said, I'm not going to miss out. I'm going to play it, and I really think I'm going to have to play this game. Like, I like the story. I know Whitney was joking, saying that it's like the scene in Spaceballs where you're like they're like you got their stunt doubles. That's how she felt about like the way that they look, because it doesn't look quite right.
It's because it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like I kind of want to play it. I want to enjoy the story. I'm thankfully going to have Spider-Man in it, but man, I feel for people playing it on PC.
What's crazy is I don't think that anybody would have cared until, and I haven't watched it yet, by the way. I need to go back and watch it. There is they've been calling them war rooms for those of you who have been keeping up with this, because I don't know if anybody remembers, and if you listen to this show regularly, we weren't very high on this game when we saw it 6 months ago. It didn't look good. There was nothing about it that seemed fun to play. But some people it's gotten a surge in hype with the last war room. Apparently it looks more fun and playable now, so I need to go watch that to see if I'm going to buy it, because I still don't like the idea that it's online. Like, I would rather just play like a single player Avengers story playing as Kamala Khan. I don't think people would have gotten mad if they wouldn't have made the game good. If they wouldn't have made it good, it would have been like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
I get being mad, like, but at the same time, I was just like, well, you should own a PlayStation. This is where, again, like, I have a problem being where people have a problem with being capitalistic, is that it would have been smart if some other company would have paid that money to get a cap, or to get I think Spider-Man is adjacent enough to where he's not, like, I know he is an Avenger, but he's not Prime Avenger. In my eyes, I think that was like the right character to pay money for. But what I think people should relax about is this game is not about Spider-Man. This game is about Kamala Khan. Yes. Kamala Khan is the main character. Like, you might get to play as Spider-Man in there, but like, if you want to go play Spider-Man, it's got to be on PlayStation anyway.
And there's an amazing Spider-Man game that you can play for that, pun intended, that I love, and I can't wait. Man, I can't wait to play the Miles one too. Yeah. Like,
I think it sucks, but like, I want to. I'll just make people a little bit more mad. Every character that comes to the Avengers, just to let you know, PlayStation Plus members get a free bundle that includes a outfit for said character, whatever character that might be, and some extra credits. And that's every single character that they end up bringing into this game. That's going to be a PlayStation thing.
Yeah.
PlayStation, like, you can hate them a lot for a lot of things, but this is a business decision. They said, we want you to play this on our console. Come play it on PlayStation. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
And that's where I can't be mad at it, because I own it anyway. And I own an Xbox too. Exactly. If I was going to have that, whatever, I would get it where I want to play it. But I get it because it's Spider-Man. That's the only reason people care, and the only other reason is because the game looks fun now. If it was the same crappy Avengers that we got last year at E3, like, or whenever it was, what was it, September that we got it?
Yeah,
like,
I think it was September. It was awful. It didn't look great. Okay, it wasn't until I saw the multiplayer, the really good multiplayer aspect, everything that they were doing, as well as seeing the story aspect of it, I thought was pretty good. What do you got? You're pointing at something?
I was trying to point to the cat, but he's back there.
Okay. No, the story using MODOK, like, I was like, that's kind of cool. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before.
Underused character in MODOK.
Yeah, very underused character. He's usually it's a joke. He's like the butt of a joke because of the way he looks. But I'm like, he's a good villain though. Um, and you're right. If they had done this and if it was like, cool, you can play Spider-Man on PlayStation, but you can play Iron Man if you have Xbox. Okay,
Yeah,
then people would be mad because it's not a Pokemon situation here. Like you shouldn't. And you're right. Spider-Man is a member of the Avengers, but he's not one of the core. Cap and Iron Man have to be in there. Hulk has to be in there, and everybody else. I know there's different versions of the Avengers. There's different lineups, if you will. Which is honestly one thing that I'm looking forward to this game is getting to play these different scenarios as different heroes, and kind of using different lineups of heroes together. That's cool to me.
yeah.
And I say that as someone like you said, you and I don't play that many online games. You don't play a lot of multiplayer, but I think this would be fun. Yeah. So we had by the way, we talked about this early on, and we're not going to spend too much time on it. We'll kind of go through it kind of quick. But the PlayStation State of Play was today, and as we mentioned earlier on in the show, this was more about the PlayStation 4 and what you're doing now, what you can experience in the coming months. Crash. I wrote in my notes on Crash 4, by the way, I was like, it's a deep dive, but I don't think you're going to win anybody over who's not a Crash Bandicoot fan already.
Yeah.
I feel like this was something that was like, hey, if you already like Crash Bandicoot, here's what you will like about this game. You get to play as Coco. You get to play as Dr. Cortex. There's like a mirror mode, which I think that's kind of cool that they're going to add that in there.
I'm not a big Crash guy, so I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like Crash. Hitman 3. I really like Hitman. And that's going to be cool. I literally wrote in my notes. I was like, I got a reason to break out the PlayStation VR. I have it boxed up. I haven't used it in almost 2 years. I put it in a box because I was like, I don't use it very often, and it definitely takes up clutter. I had it on the entertainment center in Plano, and it was obnoxious. It was just sitting there on the entertainment center. So I'm like, all right, I'll put it up so that way we don't have to worry about it. I've gotten it out a couple times. I will totally get it out to play this and to play Resident Evil 7. I think my playthrough for Resident Evil 7 this time is going to be in VR as well. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, do that. I want to watch a little bit of that just to see you with the headset on.
To see me with the headset on freaking out.
That'll be fun. You need to make sure you do that one on camera when you get to it, because hopefully by then PS5's out, and so you can move it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think that I'm trying to hit the Resident Evil 8 by do all my Resident Evil games by Resident Evil 8, which means that I will not be at PlayStation's. I won't be at Resident Evil 7 until probably January or February. So I think that'll work. By the way, I did not buy this game before, but the Braid Anniversary Edition looks great.
I've never played it either, so I was thinking about picking it up.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pick it up. Everyone's talked about how great the game is. I've seen people play it. I'm like, yeah, it looks great. It was something that I just didn't know if I'd have the time, but I think that the upgrades looked really cool. It looked like it's a remaster, not remake, remaster, where they took everything that was good about the game and just they just brushed it up. They made it polished it up a little bit, which I appreciated. Yeah. I kind of glazed over when they were talking about the differences in the two games, not playing the original. I was like, my brain wasn't really clicking to say, I don't know how to compare this.
Yeah.
But visually, I'm good with that. What else drew you in at this? I mean, we can go through the list, but I don't know if there's anything else that just drew you in, cursory glance.
Honestly, I want to call this game out simply because right after the preview came out, some controversy came out. So I don't know if you saw that. I dropped that link in there right before the show started. So Aeon Must Die.
Yeah.
Initially looked really cool. It looked interesting. There was some cool music to go with it, and then this Twitter got dropped to this whole file of stuff to where apparently this trailer was put together by quote unquote scabs, people that were just kind of hired because the company had payment problems, and apparently was not paying their employees. And we'll find. I'm sure Schreier will tell us if that's all true in the coming days. I imagine that based on the level of detail and stuff I saw in this file, because it was just literally like a Twitter thing that had a link to like a Google Drive drop with folders. So that was crazy. Like at first you see something, you're like, oh, and then you see this like Twitter thing, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I can't condone that then. Like,
Yeah,
you're not paying the people who made the game, but you're gonna pay some scabs to make a trailer so then you can release the game later on, to promote the game and then try to make some money. Like, no, that's just messed up.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I just wanted to call it out because, if you guys are interested in the game industry like that and looking up some of that stuff. But I have two games. I'm going to get to the one that I'm lower hyped at. Freaking Bug Snacks, man.
Yeah, dude.
I don't understand this game. This game makes no sense. I saw a joke on a feed that I was watching that called it Pokemon Snacks, like Pokemon Snap. I thought that was a great thing, at least from what you were getting, because it seemed like, what are you doing in this game? I have no idea, but I don't care because I want it.
It's adorable. Like, I don't care either, but I'm like, this is so adorable, and I'm here for it. It's adorable. It's quaint. It's also, the thing that people aren't talking about. It's it's an indie developer. I mean, that's now gotten some PlayStation cash, but I mean that's great. That's great for them to get this. I think that like you said, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but if I'm going around and I'm catching these things and cataloging these things, and I'm okay with that. That. That sounds fun. Pokemon Snacks. I was going to say that, speaking of Pokemon, if you weren't going to mention, I was going to mention the Temtem game, which I didn't know about before. Apparently it's been a thing, or it had been announced before.
No, it's on PC right now.
Oh, it is? Okay, because I saw the trailer to it, and I'm like, oh, so it's Pokemon. Like, yes, it's basically Pokemon. I know that
diehard fans of Pokemon.
Yeah. So I'm like, I couldn't. That's the only negative thing I could say about it, because I was like, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like Pokemon. So the only thing I could think was like, someone's going to try to sue somebody, but at the same time, maybe this competition will help the next Pokemon games be better. I don't know.
It won't. So the thing about the game, it's made by diehard fans. That everybody's been wanting the same thing. Not everybody, but everybody wants a Pokemon MMO, right? Like, that's what we want.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, we're gonna make one, and they put their own like twist on it. Instead of 1v1 battles, it's 2v2.
Mm-hmm.
From what I saw whenever it first launched, and it's not launched, by the way, it's just in the never-ending. What do they call it on Steam?
Early
access. So it's not actually officially out. So I don't know how they can do this on console. By the way, if they're gonna do it the same way, it's extremely grindy. It's very, very grindy. Like, you do not level up quickly, which I guess is fair if you're trying to make it like an MMO thing. You're like making it to where you need to put in that time.
Yeah,
but I don't have that time. Like, I want a Pokemon open world MMO. I want it to be where you can like turn off your, I don't want to fight other people, or I do in this particular moment. Mm-hmm. And with me, I probably never would. I just kind of want to wander around the world and catch stuff. That's the Pokemon MMO that I want.
Sure.
It's a thing.
I want to trade with stuff. I want battling optional, but I want to catch stuff. I want to trade stuff. I'll do like the battles with the gyms and stuff, but the multiplayer battle, like, make that optional. But yeah, I'm all about an MMO where I can go out and hunt Pokemon and take pictures of them. Yeah,
some people like it, and I applaud it because it was people that are like, I love Pokemon and Game Freak isn't giving us what I want, so I'm going to go make a game. I think that's applaudable, and but at the same time, it's still not Pokemon. The reason why Pokemon is better than every other like monster catching thing is because they did it first and they got Pikachu. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Eevee and Pikachu. I mean, come on.
The other game that I'm super excited for that I'm still a little upset is that I want freaking Genshin Impact,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
I've seen it played. I've been trying to get into the beta for like 5 months. They still haven't let me in because I'm not popular enough, I guess. But I want this game, dude.
I totally want this game. It's and
We can play together even.
Yeah, exactly. Like we talked about it before, where people were saying, "Oh, this is ripping off some Breath of the Wild," and to an extent, yeah. But you know what?
Art-wise, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the color palette. A lot of the the enemies aren't exactly the same. The character obviously does not look like Link, but yeah, color palette wise and a lot of the design, sure, it looks like Breath of the Wild, but that's what they said about like first person shooters. Because when first person shooters came out, they were like, oh, that's a Doom clone, that's a Doom game. So yeah, let it adjust. Dude, I can't wait to play this. I think that I feel like it's you're bringing in all these different. I mean, and we don't know a ton about the game still, but bringing the different combat styles, magic styles, like doing combat, like I think it'd be really cool, and the multiplayer aspect of it's really cool. Like,
yeah, it's not because that's where it's got the art, but that's kind of where it ends.
Sure.
The rest of the game, it's a complete art ripoff. But in terms of where the gameplay style, like it's more RPG-esque. There's like character switches. Like it has nothing to do with Breath of the Wild. It's just they saw an art style that sold a lot of money, and they're gonna. Or, I mean, not sold a lot of money.
Sold a lot of copies.
That sold a lot of copies. The thing about this game, it's free to play. Like it's a microtransaction based game. So I'm excited for it to come out. I've seen it played. It looks fun. It looks gorgeous. Like I'm ready for Breath of the Waifu.
Yeah, basically. I'm ready for some Vader Immortal. I'm like going to be playing some VR actually.
Yeah.
This one was Oculus exclusive for I want to say a year and a half. A good amount of time, because when I did the Star Wars Void experience, people were like, "Oh, but Vader Immortal's better." I'm like, "Yeah, it probably is, but I don't I didn't have an Oculus and want to spend the money, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play this." I don't think this one.
Was awesome.
What's that?
The one of the Void? That thing was dope.
I think it was great. I mean, I think people were just complaining because like, "Oh, it's only 20 minutes long," or however long it is. Like, I had a blast. It was only I know I mentioned it before on the show, because if you heard this before, sorry, but I went. No one else was with us. It was me and the wife, and we had the same idea at the same time when they're like, "Hey, pick up your blasters," and we're like, "Huh? There's 4 of them. There's 2 of us. Dual wield." So both of us picked him. Both, like, we didn't even talk about it. I grabbed 2, she grabbed 2. We looked at each other, both dual wielding, like out of no. It was great, and yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. I'm excited about. All right, I'm intrigued on auto chess. Like, I think like that could be interesting. So that's something I thought would be interesting. Hood,
you can check out some videos of it.
Okay. Hood Outlaws and Legends, I think, is up my alley, so I'm good with that. And last thing that I'm glad we're diving more into is Godfall. This was a big chunk of the end. I don't know if it got you at all, but I think it's pretty cool.
It did not get me.
Yeah.
Like I still have 0 in this game.
We need to have, and I mentioned it before, we need to have a free weekend, like open beta weekend or something, so that way people can play this. Because I think that it looks good. I think it's going to be something people have to play to really feel. To me, after watching it and listening to it, I'm like, it's cool that it has, obviously the gear. You have different styles. You have the 4 elements. So you have different things that can damage you. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I think that the combat could be good because it seems like Dark Souls with superpowers. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's cool, but to me, I'm looking at it going, do I want to pay? First of all, do I want to pay $60? And second of all, am I going to actually put in the time into this game to enjoy it, because I played a good amount of Destiny, and Destiny 2 I barely played. It wasn't as good. And I say barely played. I think I put in like 40 or 50 hours. For these games, but for these games, that's not that much. Like
not for a looter.
Not for a looter shooter, not for these, it's a looter shooter. It's basically an MMO. I stopped playing and people were like, dude, I can't believe you quit already. And I'm like, I played for 2 months. Like, that's a good amount of time to play a game.
I mean, like with those, that's the thing about that kind of game is like, it's just a commitment. And it's a commitment that I don't know if I want to make. But honestly, there's just nothing about this game that has like got me. The combat doesn't look fun to me. Like, and if you try it and you tell me it's awesome, maybe I'll jump in. And that's the great thing about this show is that me and Patrick don't always like the same things. I think if you like it, I would probably give it a shot. But it's so weird. I think the only reason that they're pushing this game so hard is because it's a PS5 launch game, and when PS5 comes out, I've already said like I'll probably. That's probably how I wind up with Godfall, is because I buy I'll buy everything that's out in December or whenever this console comes out next year.
I feel like I probably will be able to buy a handful of games, and this may be one that I skip specifically to be like, I'm not going to have the time. I'm not going to put in the time for it. I have games in my backlog that I'm continuing to play. I'm playing the Resident Evil series. So to me, it's like, I'm not going to play it now. Maybe I'll get it when it's discounted later on, which I've done with quite a few games where I'm like, I want to have it in my collection. I know I'm not going to play it now, but I'll go ahead and do it. By the way, Shadow of War was just on sale on the PlayStation network. And I was like, okay, I've been wanting to play this game. I played Shadow of Mordor, didn't play Shadow of War, and it was like Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor was the game of the year, like all the DLC for like, I think it was $12 or $15. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna go back at some point. I'll buy something discounted, but I don't know if I can pay $60 for a game I'm not gonna play. I'm totally gonna pay for the for Squadrons though. Like, you and I are both gonna play that, and we gotta carve out some time on an evening or two, and but I can justify that. Like, I know I'm going to play at least $40 worth of Squadrons, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that I'm going to. I'm just hoping that I'm any kind of good at it. If it pilots like Battlefront 2, I don't know.
I hope it's better. I hope it's better than the Battlefront 2 pilots. I'm not bad. And Battlefront 2, I'm not exceptional. Where at least with I'm okay on the ground with the heavy, like the assault. Like, I do pretty well with that. I was trying to do the the officer. I was trying to get better at that. Didn't find my groove with that specialist. It's pretty good too. But
I'm just a standard guy.
Just standard. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm not great at it, but I'm okay on the ground. But when I'm flying, I'm just like, I feel like I'm lacking. I'm lacking in comparison. Like, I can hold my own a little bit with the shooting aspect, and by that I mean I kill more than I die, and I think I consider this a win. So yeah. Anyways, let us know in the comments what you thought about the state of play. Are you going to pick up Godfall? Are you going to pre-order a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox? Are you part of the PC master race? And how do you feel about Spider-Man being attached to PlayStation for the Marvel's Avengers? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you next time.
Hey, bye!